the no thought state explained when it comes to meditation. So as you learn to practice meditation, with the correct methodology, you have the right teacher and you have the right activation and the right balancing of your energies and so forth, it's like within 24 hours to 48 hours, you can get into, the ideal meditative state, or know how to get into the ideal meditative state where it is conducive to the best fastest progress, right? Because there's different gears, right? First gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth gear, right? In the performance vehicles, as you're going faster and faster and faster, you go to a higher gear, right? And level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, like that. So in meditation, it's about the mind, right? So in from a scientific perspective, it is the 4 frequencies. So the highest frequency being the delta frequency. So I want to explain that it's also referred to as the no thought state in meditation, and how you can, hopefully once you understand it, you can get into it much easier. And that's what I will be discussing in this video. So I would like to ask you a very big favor. If you like the contents of my video, then please also don't forget to like my video, because this will, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. And this will greatly help my channel to reach out to more people, right? And just one optional additional favor while you're at it, if you could just share it to just one other person in your life or one social media, channel, and drop a comment, while you're at it. I'll very highly appreciate that. But bottom line, thank you just for spending your time, with me, and exploring ways in which, to expand your life, your awareness, the quality of your life, and evolving yourself, because this is the field to evolve yourself, right? So, for those who don't know me, I am Osman. I'm a bioenergy healer on a master level with telepathic healing capabilities, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, and spiritual ailments. Especially, I have an amazing offer. You can get a 10-minute anxiety fix in for just $5, less than the price of a Starbucks coffee, delivered to you anywhere globally, telepathically, instantly, and pay only after you're satisfied, right? And that goes for all my treatments. I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher, having been practiced this art form for almost 50 years, and teaching for 44 years. In that period, I studied under various masters from different schools of thought, from different cultures, and from different parts of the world globally, from the Far Eastern, the Eastern, the Middle Eastern, and the Western sciences, including the scientific communities, right? And I weaned out and gleaned out the most important parts and created my own simpler protocols, more adapted for the 21st century, making things quicker, faster, easier, time efficient and results orientated. To that end, I now have students in over 100 countries, and my favorite protocol is my 5-minute yoga and meditation program, which you can download for free at my website, yogawellness786.com. And where you can also get more information about my services and contact information and so forth, right? And of course, the download is in exchange for your subscribing to my blog. And it's free to subscribe to the blog, by the way. And the bottom most important thing is, always remember my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. Okay, don't neglect medical treatment. So coming back to the states of mind, the no thought state, I tried to, because this is a very simple explanation. I don't think the video needs to be very long. So, according to psychology science, there are 4 levels of the mind, right? 4 frequencies. You get the beta frequency first, which is like erratic frequency. It's not streamlined or uniform, right? It's like thoughts randomly, wildly about everything, the future, the past, stresses, anxiety. It's like the normal state of mind of the average people, right? All stressed out, right? Like the stressed out, we'll say the stressed out level, the beta level. And then you get the alpha level, very calm, peaceful, together, focused, mindful, on point, and person is much more effective that way, very controlled. It's the ideal state. That's why I call the alpha. And then you get the theta state, that your mind become more relaxed, more deeply relaxed, but it's a definite frequency change. It's comparable. Everyone experiences, yeah, when you're so tired, you're about to fall asleep, and the dream is just coming, and you're about to dream, and the dream world and the real world is starting to merge. You're starting to see your dreams, and you can hear the words like like becoming softer, right? And you, like, in a few seconds you're going to be gone into dream, right? That's the explanation of the way you'll experience the theta state. And it's also a good state for hypnosis. They take you in that state manually, by suggestions. And then the most suggestive state, of course, is the delta state. You don't know what happened, when you go into that. You go into total calm and relax. You experience that every night when you go into sleep. If you're sleeping enough, you need to sleep minimum 7 to 9 hours, and you go into deep sleep state. There's no dream there, and it's about 2 hours long, and that is where your body recharges the most, right? If you don't go into deep sleep, your health can deteriorate very fast, and you can become very sick. If you just spend 2 days with no sleep, see how sick you feel, and you can't do anything. You've got no energy. You feel miserable, groggy, terrible. You need to go into sleep, and not just sleep. You need to go into deep sleep, and that's where you get fully recharged, right? But in the meditation field, the delta state, also called the no thought state, the technical term in the yoga sciences is called nirmal-sthiti, right? When you reach that state, it is a state of non-experience. It's like power out. There's no mind, there's no thought, there's no me, you, imagination, dreaming, nothing, non-experience. And there's also, you cannot experience the passage of time when you go reach that state, because when you open your eyes, and you all you know is, let's say you're doing open eye meditation, you're focusing on something physical. You only know you're focusing on it, and you feel like 5 or 10 minutes you're focusing on it. When you look at the clock, 45 minutes is gone. How did that happen? I'm sure it's only 10 minutes. I know what is 10 minutes and what is 45 minutes. I know definitely not 45 minutes, right? Means you slipped into delta, and you don't know at which point, because it doesn't say now I'm going to delta, so lights out and now on. You don't feel that blank. It's a non-experience. So non-experience can't be part of the experience world. So you just having, you experience like just a flow of experience. Somewhere something happened, and it's told 45 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. What, in the beginning it starts with, like, you can't account for 10 minutes, right? And this can, if you got the right protocols, you can experience this within few days, right? The no thought. So the advantage of the no thought state, or nirmal sthiti, is the calmer your mind is, the greater the inflow of the cosmic energy into your body. So when you say cosmic energy, the energy of the whole cosmos, right? So it's flowing into your head, and it's revitalizing and recharging all the subtle pathways throughout your body. If there's disease, it goes, and it's like mind matter. It's like a dark cloud in certain areas of your body, and it goes and clears it and lights it up, right? When the energy goes, it clears. That dark cloud disappears. It like evaporates, right? So imagine there's like certain cloud patches in your body, in your subtle conduits. You have subtle that's not visible by your naked eye. So as your mind becomes calmer and calmer, the flow of the cosmic energy gets faster and faster. So you're always connected to the cosmic energy. You can't be alive without connection, because you're part of the cosmos, right? So it's always flowing into you, but a very slight trickle. And as you calm your mind, the trickle becomes a flow, gentle flow, and a gush when it's zero, no thought state. Then you're making the fastest progress in meditation when you're in the no thought state. So this is the importance and the explanation of the no thought state, right? And this is not a video on how to get into that state, but an explanation of the state. But briefly, as you're practicing meditation, and the easiest way is like to use guided meditation. You know, when I just couldn't get the hang of meditation. Hatha yoga and all I could get, and it was like very boring. And then they say, the theory that I'm going to experience like sounds and lights and all that. I couldn't see nothing. I even like put blankets on the windows, to block light out completely. Because I was young when I was like 9, 10. 10 years old, and to make the room very dark. I want to see what lights I can see. I saw nothing, right? So it was like confusing me and confounding me until I think it was only in my early 30s. I got the knack of what is meditation. I went for a free 5-day meditation course, and they explained it, and all the explanation meant nothing to me, because at the end of everything, they played some very soothing meditation music with a very soothing voice that's guiding you. Like, now you are totally relaxed, you are calm, you're feeling this, you're feeling that. And it was like about 10 minutes. The soundtrack. That is where I learned meditation from that end. The lectures I can't remember. It was like very, of course, at the time it was interesting and all, but that didn't stick. What stuck is the experience, the practice. So dump all the theories. You just sit comfortably, listen to your favorite guided meditation, and follow the guided meditation, right? Whichever is the best for you, and follow that method, and then try to observe time, passage of time, right? That very soon, within few days, if you have the right guided, you'll start feeling like a few minutes actually, for sure, a few minutes escape, but that can build up, right? And eventually, you don't need the guided meditation. You can become calm and relaxed, because you got the idea how to go, right? And I only stopped the guided meditations when I felt the numbness, filling up in my body up to my neck region. And that's when I said, now, and I was able to have that experience without the audio track. Then I stopped the audio tracks, after that. But and it took me like a couple of weeks, in my knowledge, maybe, I don't think months, maybe days, maybe days, or the first time I listened to it, because I mean, I was practicing hatha yoga and pranayama and all these things, for a long time by that time, and probably over 20 years, when I had that experience. So all that helps you, to fast forward your progress in this field, because everything interlocks and links together, right? The hatha yoga and all that helps, is foundational, to your meditation progress. So it is experiencing uh, an inexplicable how time just flashed and you didn't notice at which point it flashed, because all you got a continuous experience. You were looking at that light or looking at that spot, or you close your eyes and you're focusing on your whichever method you're using, and then boom, how did 45 minutes go, how did 30 minutes, how did even 20 minutes go? Let's say you're doing for 20 minutes, right? How did 20 minutes go? I only feel like 3 or 4 minutes, but actually, and you say, okay, maybe it's something in the mind, and you keep doing it every day, it starts growing, right? Then something's up. This is the no thought state, the delta state, or the nirmal sthiti, the most ideal state for meditation. Uh, and the flow of energy from the cosmic energy is ideal, and everything else has a chance to self repair. In your body, everything happens most ideally. The fastest progress you can ever make in meditation is when you can practice reaching the delta. So I reach delta, to reach theta level. I'm always 24/7 in the alpha state. I'm always like very calm. If you meet me or even phone me, talk on the phone, you'll feel calmness over. If you're feeling very anxious and you just decide to have a voice chat with me, at the end of that chat, you're going to feel much calmer. You're not going to feel stressed. I promise you, no, everyone felt very calm. And they feel so calm. It's very common when I talk to people that they start snoring while I'm talking. Not that my conversation is boring, because I had this experience now for decades, right? That they feel so calm and relaxed for the first time. First time they're able to totally de-stress and rest. And they just nod off, and I can feel when I see the eyes about to close, right? That time when I had eyesight, now I'm blind. So now when I hear like total silence, no response, I say, hey, are you there? Because I get like very into my discussions and so passionate, and I can talk like 20 minutes like nonstop, and then I realize there's no response. Then I know the person is out for the count, right? He's sleeping. So I'm always in a state of alpha, right? Because of long-standing practice of, and I believe the alpha state was brought about by hatha yoga, because of I focus mainly on that from childhood. I didn't understand pranayama and meditation and all that. And from the age of 13, people used to comment, you look so calm and, focus. They could feel that calmness. Like you, you feel stressed, you come and meet me and suddenly you're feeling calm, in my presence. And especially teachers used to comment in the classroom. When they come to my class, they just look and say, oh my, and they call other teachers. There's something weird, about this guy. And I used to think something wrong, something weird with the teacher, right? And I didn't know, but now I understand. So the alpha state I was always in. The theta state I could get into only after listening to, the guided meditation, and I was able to get into it. I think it was the first time. Right? Within a few days, I learned because I feel that calmness rising from the toe up to the neck. So when the neck downward is, you lose like 90% consciousness, in the beginning, and eventually become 100% you lost from the neck down. This is the theta state, right? You're established fully in the theta state. So it doesn't mean you're not in the theta, because when you're about to sleep, you're not losing consciousness of body. You're still, there. And it's the beginning of the theta state. But the maturation of the theta state is you feel calmness up to there. And then when you're feeling the blanks in time is the delta state. And the delta state can start happening in any level, even while you're in the beta state. You're just going to notice that time is elapsing, there's like blanks. But in my experience, I felt it after the theta state distinctly, you know distinctly, right? The delta state. So use guided meditation to get easily into the delta state. And the delta state, to get into that, it takes me 2 to 5 seconds to go into the theta state, because I'm using tricks and shortcuts, and also long-term practice. And then it takes me 2 to 5 minutes after that to get into delta state, right? So it's not something that is so elusive. It is something easy. You follow, you have the right teacher. He, like when I'm um, uh, uh, training my students who engage my services for advanced meditation protocol, advanced yoga and meditation protocol, then I'm able to, there's a lot of things that I do energetically. I prepare them, and this in one, normally in one session, in an hour session, I'm able to do it. But now I've learned doing it telepathically. Because there's different levels of people, and I found a 10-day protocol to be much safer and better. And it's very important to establish that foundation energetically. Otherwise, you get the involuntary Kundalini awakening that can go bad and way bad. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people are suffering, and they're going into sanitariums, and no medications are helping, and it's a very bad experience. You don't have that experience. 44 years of teaching, I never had any injury in any of my students, and no reported negative Kundalini awakenings. Of course, they would have reported to me because I'm the one teaching them. If they had something that they couldn't control, and I can, if it gets out of control, I can control it globally, right? So you engage an advanced yoga and meditation teacher who can fix the problem even telepathically, instantly, right? If this goes out of control and the energy is shut up from the base of the spine, filling your head, and it's cracking your head and a headache, and you got extreme pain, and you can't, and it's stuck there. You get stuck and you can't bring it down. So I can go in from wherever telepathically, and I gently bring it down instantly. Within a few minutes, you're okay, right? You're back to normal. And you could go to the doctors, you can go to the psychiatrist, you can do nothing will help. All the medication, nothing will help. You can go days, weeks, months, years, you'll be in that problem, right? So these are the dangerous elements. But delta frequency is something, amazing. It's the no thought state, nirmal sthiti, fastest progress, the ideal state. This is meditation. The other thing, focusing, is not meditation. In the meditation field, the first level is the to get into to withdraw the senses. That is to get into theta. And once you're in theta, then the second level, that is called pratyahara, right? In meditation, second is dharana, or focusing. Then if you focus on your breath or focusing on a point, it's going to be successful. You're not going to struggle with your mind and all that, right? And then it matures very quickly into um, um, the delta state after that, and it takes me 2 to 5 minutes into delta, 2 to 5 seconds into theta. You learn from the right people, you'll get into it faster. And why I keep repeating this is because I feel so sorry for people. They're spending decades. I have one new patient or client, right? I'm not a medical doctor. I'm an energy healer, but it's accepted as supportive, naturopathic method that is recommended because it does have some mild benefits. But in my cases, I didn't find mild benefits. I found extraordinary benefits. And because I put a lot of energy into and passion into healing, and holistically, with the nutrition protocols, and seeing what is the cause of, and addressing in a multifaceted but natural way, right? I address it. So this client was initiated by a very strong spiritual master, but the people, they have so much of power, but they don't have the theory. They don't know what is the theory of yoga, meditation. All it's so sad. And he couldn't teach her everything. And she then turned 80 years old, right? When she was around 55 years old, 25 years prior, I met her and I told her, like, she must do this. That's not going to help her, what she's doing. She's doing, like, I could see it's not going to take her anywhere, her protocols, right, that she was following. And the minimum you need to be doing this. She said, no, no, no. Her guru told her to just do that. She's going to do what her guru told her. Then I met her 25 years later, and she feels it's the end of her life, and she was very ill when I met her, of course. That's why I all meet these people. Um, and I completely recovered her, and it's a long protocol to repair someone that age, to come back, and she's feeling amazing, right? And I taught her this thing, but she's been like from the age of 15 to the age of 80 is 65 years wasting time. And then I taught her. Now I said, do this. Will you do? She said, okay, I'll do what you say. And then within a few weeks, she's starting to make progress. I was so happy. you know I said, oh my God, you're now making progress, right? And your kundalini is reactivated now, because that's why you're making the progress. Now it'll start going exponentially, because it was fully awake. She had very powerful awakening, right? And it is there, because all the major knots are all torn apart. So it's only like this stresses of a life that came and created like current blockages, and they're all getting unblocked. I wanted to do it. So I don't want you, the viewer, to be wasting 65. You can waste 65 years. You're thinking 30 years, and you're thinking, Gopi Krishna, it took 17 years. With that 17 years, he was like a selected person, was trained in the yoga sciences to attain advanced levels of meditation, specifically in his childhood, right? And he started meditating professionally because he knew how to meditate by the age of 17. 3 a.m. every morning. He will go outside, and he lived in the northernmost part of India, where it goes to sub-zero temperatures, snow and so forth, right? Come, no matter what the temperature, he goes out into the river, into the stream, and bathes there in freezing cold, and comes blue in his body at 3 a.m. and sits and meditates for 3 hours. And after 17 years, his Kundalini awakens. And he is someone who's already primed, and they identified him as a potential candidate. To find potential candidate, who you can train in this field for a few years, is very hard. Maybe 1 in 10,000 people is a potential candidate for this type of practice, right? For this field. So he took 17 years, and then 4 years to recover after the negative experience, and a further 12 years to become established. Total of 33 years, right? He took. And he is Gopi Krishna, and he himself started a school they selected about 100 people, using the scientific community. And the success rate for advancing them was 3 to 4%. 3 to 4 out of 100 of the selected ideal candidates. It's like to get admitted to medical university is so hard. This is much harder than that, much harder than the medical university, because it's like the best of the best of the best, the cream of the crop. Maybe you got a 1 in 100,000 chance, to, or maybe 1 in a million chance to getting accepted into medical university, right? Or 1 in 100,000, depending which part of the world. And maybe this one, to be selected, to be able to advance is 1 in 1 billion, I think. To make that progress, 3 to 4% of that select group is not easy. So, but there's easier ways. I've been trying to find easier methods, my whole life, and I found much easier methods. I made so much of progress over the last almost 5 decades and my teaching of 44 years. And you don't have to waste. Typically, it is not surprising, not that it's going to be, I'm not surprised anymore when some of my students, they have an out of body experience within 1 to 2 days, right? For me to have an out of body experience, out of body, not bliss experience, I was still in my body. I didn't feel like I was out of my body when I had the inner conjunction, right? But to be completely out of my body took me like 22 years of stable practice. But I didn't know what to touch on. So I'm trying to give you shortcuts and advice to shorten your the learning curve, that you don't waste decades of your life away. Okay? Hope that information helps you. Take care of yourself always.